Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Rouge Rugby podcast where we talk about real Canadian rugby. I'm Stu Hardy on my own this week. Unfortunately, Derek Brissett is ill and therefore you'll only have my musings to listen to for this episode. I'd like to start off by saying that if you are listening to the recording on Spotify, I am wearing a purple shirt, and that is to do with Rowan's Law Day. For those of you that don't know, Rowan's Law Day is celebrated on the final Wednesday in September across Ontario, and is named after Rowan Stringer, a rugby player who died from second impact syndrome. When Rowan passed away, or prior to, she knew that she had a concussion but didn't know that her brain needed time to heal, and neither did her parents or her coaches or her teachers as well. As a result, Rowan's Law Day is designed to inform everyone across Ontario the impacts of concussions and what they can mean to you, including finding the signs. So, if in doubt, sit them out. Make sure you have time to heal from concussions. And, if this is Wednesday and it's the last Wednesday of September, wherever you are, wear a bit of purple in memory of Rowan Stringer. And now into the news. And the big news for Major League Rugby has been that the Dallas Jackals have withdrawn from the 2025 season. According to social media posts, one line that comes out, which is of significant importance, is they are continuing to evaluate a controlling interest transfer, which will not be complete in time for them to plan and compete in 2025. So from that, first of all, any Jackals fans, we know your pain. We've been through it ourselves with the Toronto Arrows, as have rugby fans across North America, whether that be in Austin, in New York, in Atlanta. It always sucks to see your team go, especially with Dallas, turning around their fortunes and having an incredible year, making it to the playoffs for the first time. So that line of evaluating a controlling interest transfer is of particular note. So it looks as though there could be the opportunity for a new owner to take up the franchise. That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll remain in Dallas or even in Texas. It could be to another location. And unfortunately, it won't be done in time for the next season in 2025, but hopefully in time for 2026. For the time being, that means there are 11 teams in Major League Rugby, and it has already been confirmed by MLR as well as the Players Union as well. That dispersal draft will be taking place within due time. Like I said, it's very disappointing that Dallas, especially after the year they've had, have now decided to withdraw. But we are hoping for all the players involved that they can be picked up by other teams and have opportunities to play professional rugby in North America. Okay, let's move on to the national team. And I'll focus on the men's team first. We have had the final rounds of the Pacific Nations Cup. Canada were one of the first teams to go up, for that being in the 5th place playoff. Canada versus Tonga. We've already seen how Tonga were able to beat Canada on 2 occasions in 2023, and that trend seemed to continue. The final score, Canada 17, Tonga 30, which means that Canada finished 6th in the Pacific Nations Cup. Now, obviously, we've talked previously about how the Pacific Nations Cup will be used to qualify teams for the 2027 World Cup, so it's not a great omen. And if you want further detailed analysis of this game, just listen to any of the podcasts where we've talked about the men's team being unsuccessful. Just replace all the names with Tonga, especially our most recent episode, Screaming into the Void. You'll get the picture. But let's look ahead for a change, and we have a November tour announced by Rugby Canada, and the men's team will be heading off to Romania this November, where they will be playing both Romania and Chile. Now, according to America's Rugby News, there had been a plan to face the Netherlands at some point. From their data they were given, the match that was meant to be Canada versus Netherlands will now be Canada-Chile. So it looks as though that's all been changed, and that game with the Netherlands has unfortunately been removed. It is disappointing that Canada will be only facing two teams in Europe. From a logistical point of view, having both those games take place in Bucharest obviously means travel time is reduced, gives them more time to acclimatize to playing in Europe, and ultimately, maybe it'll be for the best for that second game, which I believe is against Romania, which will be taking place on November 16th. So, yeah, we have a confirmed total of 7 games for the men's team this year, which is, always positive. We'd like to see the men's team get as much experience on the international stage as possible. And also, Canada beat Romania in the summer. Maybe they can do the double this time in Bucharest, but we will see. Of course, the big measuring stick will be that match against Chile. If Canada do finish 6th next year in the Pacific Nations Cup, it is more than likely they will be facing Chile for the Americas repechage before moving on to a final qualification tournament for the loser of that match. So that will be the yardstick of which will be measured. Now, moving on to the women's 15s game. And we have the WXV round 1 coming up. Canada have now selected 30 players that will be competing in that tournament. And we have the games that in the order that they'll be played. So Canada will be playing France, then Ireland, then concluding with England. Now, if you go to rougerugby.ca, we will have a full breakdown of what our predictions are for these games, like what are Canada's chances of winning, but we'll just go over a few details now. So, first game will be Canada versus France. France have had a pretty good Six Nations. They have finished second, and they've had one warm-up game in preparation for the WXV. So, of the 6 games they've played this year, they have won 4 and lost 2. Both of those losses have come to England, so we will speak on England in a moment. However, last time these teams faced each other, Canada won that fixture 29-20. This is probably the most middle ground of the fixtures, and, obviously the most recent result had Canada coming out on top. We're hoping for more of the same. We're hoping the home advantage will obviously play a key factor in that. So let's hope that Canada can get another win there. Next up is a fixture we haven't had in a while, which is Canada versus Ireland. Ireland managed to qualify not only for the WXV Stage 1, but also the next Women's Rugby World Cup to take place in England next year by finishing 3rd in this year's Six Nations. However, they have also had a couple of losses as well. So they lost to England, France, and Italy in those fixtures. However, they did beat Wales and Scotland, and in the warm-up fixtures, they have beaten Australia. So a team that has been competing in the Pacific 4 series alongside Canada. However, the last time Canada and Ireland faced each other was back in 2016. And so it's not really easy to measure how Canada are doing against them. However, considering that they are the 3rd team of the Six Nations Six Nations trio that are competing, it's, more than likely that Canada will be able to have the advantage. The last time they did face, Canada won that game 48-7. However, underestimating Ireland is going to be a foolish decision, so it's of imperative that Canada takes Ireland seriously, just get the win, and focus on the big prize, which is coming up next. Canada's final game will be against England, who are the defending WXV champions. They are also coming off a Grand Slam, as well as 2 victories in their warm-up fixtures, which were against France and against New Zealand. So of the 7 games they have played this year, they have won all 7. Now, last time these 2 teams faced each other, Canada lost by a big margin. The final score, England 45, Canada 12. In fact, Canada have struggled to even score 20 points against England in recent years. They did do so last year, but the final result was Canada 24, England 50. So make of that what you will. This will be the biggest test for Canada going into the WXV, and is a fantastic way to end the tournament, as this will be the final game. So it doesn't look good for Canada, but at the same time, at the start of the year, Canada had never beaten the Black Ferns. So maybe, just maybe, we could be due another upset to end this year. And if you are looking to watch those fixtures, they are most likely on TSN. However, you will be able to get confirmation from us when we alert you via our social media channels. And if you're looking to watch any other games this weekend, the Premiership as well as the URC are available on Sportsnet. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out more, as well as our written pieces, on our website, therougerugby.ca. You can also find our podcast on Spotify, S4P, and Apple Podcasts. We have our YouTube channel, at The Rouge Rugby. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and stay up to date with all our videos. We're also available across social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, all at The Rouge Rugby. And if you want to find me personally, you can do so across social media at Hardman, spelled H4RDMAN. Well, thank you for joining me for this shortened solo episode of the Rouge Rugby podcast, where we talk about real Canadian rugby. We hope you can join us again next time.